Welcome back, our beautiful listeners, to another episode of Unlocking Success with Eric Eclipse and myself, Rich Homie Vang. We're just going to get right into it. Sorry we missed last week, but we're back like nothing happened. Last week was a good week.
It was a week that we had to take off for some important things.
Yeah.
And for future reference, we'll probably try and have, maybe multiple podcasts already recorded, right? Maybe that's something we can eventually get to.
Yeah, probably, what is that called? Backlogging?
Probably.
Something?
Yeah, backlogging. Even if they're not, the most formal ones, just have a conversation, per se. Then we can just throw it up if we happen to miss a week. But for future reference, we'll definitely, let you know prior to. But we're back, so it doesn't matter. What's up, man?
Yo.
What's
Yo.
It feels good to be back.
Some of the talking points is going to be from a couple weeks back. But that's all right, because there's something to talk about.
Yeah. That's what we do.
One of the big news that first came out, that I saw all over social media, was how OnlyFans was going to be banning, that it was the OF, because I think I already said the word, but banning all sexual explicit adult content in October. So we still have a couple more months.
I think they actually.
But then right after that, they got a ton of backlash. So they dropped the plans to do any of that. They didn't want to fumble the bag. They knew the bag was there. And they didn't.
Well, come on, man. You look at that shit. That's their only business model. Is that part of it? Because no one uses it for anything else, right? Like Patreon, I think, has a little bit of that. But Patreon is at least used for, exclusive content, just not in that format. For example, Fresh and Fit used their Patreon for things, just to name one. But yeah, that's only OF's only form of ink.
That's kind of been their go-to OF.
I mean, they did pioneer that, I would say.
Like you said, I know Patreon. Some people they did use that as their OF type platform, but then OF came out and that was the main platform to really go to.
Yeah. And
shit ton of money being made. Well, what we'll say from the female content creator side, they're bougie, flexing, flashy with
their handbags,
their income, but then the company OF is taking a cut of it, and if you think the content creators are popping, the platform moderators or people running the company,
whatever,
they're the ones popping off. And if they get rid of their main income source, then what else is going to replace it?
Nothing.
Because I know a bunch of people that make the argument, it's it's not just explicit content, but I mean it's kind of been not really advertised, but that's, you ask someone
what is
OF? What is OF?
Or what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of OF? The answer is always the same. And you could deny that it's not used for that, but clearly it is, because that's the general consensus that the population has of it, right? Yeah, I was going to use another example. It's if you're talking to someone about a way that you feel about the way they feel about you, and they're I don't feel the way about you, or feel this way about you, and then you respond well, clearly I do, because I have this conception that you feel that way about me. Maybe there's an awful explanation of what I'm trying to say in my head. But long story short, that's what OF is, because if you ask your average person on the street, they're going to say the same thing every time. And that it is just used as a sexual marketplace, basically.
And then I know this was earlier in the year. Maybe it was last year. No, I think it was early in the year. Was it New York that was
New York's always up to some bullshit.
legalizing sex work, or some of some extent, something about sex work. And I remember seeing like protests, a sign. It was like, "Sex workers are still workers." What do you mean? Yes, but it's like there's like a weird push pull type of
Do you mean like
tension there?
Are you kind of referring to like prost?
Yes.
That okay?
Yes. Yeah, it was like
not to say the whole word.
It was like legal.
It says that
legal prost.
Shouting out George Gammon, editor. Let's go with the internet. Says only Nevada is the only U.S. jurisdiction that allows legal prost in the form of regulated brothels. Huh. So it's the only one where like you can go to a brothel
place.
And it's completely legal. And I just looked up like where is this legal in the U.S. and Nevada's the only one that came.
So, well, I guess Nevada is already there, but a bunch of states are trying to follow in their steps.
Hang on, New York. Here it is. New York Times is the source. Manhattan to stop prosecuting prost, part of nationwide shift. So they're stopping prosecuting it. Doesn't mean it's technically legal, but at the same time it kind of is.
Damn. Decriminalize? Is that what it is? Yeah, decriminalization.
Basically,
That's basically what it is.
The Manhattan District Attorney's Office announced Wednesday that it would no longer prosecute prost and unlicensed massage.
Nice.
Putting the weight of one of the most high-profile law enforcement offices in the United States behind the growing movement to change the criminal justice system's approach to sex work. Interesting. And it says, this is also from the 21st of April, but it was updated in July. Anyhow, the district attorney, Cyrus R. Vance Jr., asked a judge on Wednesday morning to dismiss 914 cases involving prost and unlicensed massage, along with 5,080 cases in which the charge was loitering for the purpose of prost. Long story short, it seems like it's being decriminalized in New York City, at least. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And yeah, like
I'll link the article.
Yeah, I don't even know where I wanted to go with this. It's just like, sure, sex work is work, but you know, people complain there's still no jobs.
Dude.
Or we'll say, you know, viewing females as objects and sex objects.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the side of it is, or one side of it is, you know, let's not do that. But then we have this whole capitalist type side of it, where, you know, we shouldn't be viewing females as sex objects, but
They view them.
you can, like, if you do, you get paid for it. You can get paid for it.
Yeah, it's quite hilarious, to be honest. It's a femme movement. I don't know if I can say the whole word, but femme movement is one of the most hypocritical and contradictory movements I've ever seen. Because it's about empowerment, but at the same time they limit themselves to objects. So, yeah. I mean, you do whatever floats your boat, I guess, but you do it to yourself, I guess. And I'm not stopping you from doing nothing. You can do whatever you want. But you can't.
It's like you do it to yourself without realizing you're doing it to yourself, and then you still blame others. This is something probably touch base on in another episode.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I mean, at first, when OF, stated they were gonna ban it, all the memes came out. It was like, people are gonna have to get jobs and shit. And I was like, it's a good meme because, like we were saying for the femme movement, it's fuck, I'm blanking out, or it's.
I'm trying to think if it was. I'll mention this.
Shit.
Like you see all the guys, or not guys, girls that came on Fresh and Fit. I always remember the times where Kevin Samuels would come on, and he would basically say, "Hey, what you got going on is great with these OF accounts and stuff like that, where they're bringing in large sums, right? But this isn't going to last forever." And they all dismissed him. Well, they had a scare for a second.
Yeah.
They had a scare for a second, and even then, he's still right. It's not discrediting these people. Like, damn, you're making a great living on that. I mean, good for you, but you just can't have the idea it's always going to be like that. Because it won't. That's where men and women are the exact inverse. It's always said, right? Women are born with value. Men have to create their value. And they work against each other, right? The older a female gets, the less she's valued. The older a male gets, the more he's valued. The more masculine and wealthy and successful a man becomes, the more he's valued. But, what's the age? It's like mid-30s, right? On average. Most of females' eggs or whatever, I guess, they dissipate. And that's just how it is, right? That's human nature.
That's just biology.
Can't do anything about it. That's just the truth, man.
That's biology.
It's not like I'm not trying to, belittle anyone. That's just that's anatomy. That's just how our bodies work. But some people just don't want to accept that.
Yeah, with you saying that, yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say. It's like they have this income bringing opportunity that some are for it, some are against it, and then the scare of, it's going away, well, I got to figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then, I mean, most of the OF content creators are the females, and they had that scare and all the backlash. But then we'll say, what double standard this for from the male perspective. It's like, well, I didn't have the opportunity or to do that anyway. Like, I have to look for a job.
I have to
regardless. It's like I don't. It's like, I can have a scare any moment. I can look for a job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you want to be a successful man, it's a 25/8 job. There's no days off, right? And in this present moment, damn, that sucks, right? But if you start early, that means you get out early, right? If you're busting your ass from age 21 to 30, just to name a time frame, right? Then you're good, right? And you're good. As long as you're not an idiot. If you spend that time frame busting your ass every day, you're going to have as much free time as you want. As long as you're looking at the right things. Because it's not about necessarily living in the moment. Yes, it's important to live in the present. When you're trying to be a successful person, you have to live in the moment while working for the future. Right?
Yeah. Exactly. And the last thing I'm going to say for the OF stuff is, when they had the scare, it was going to go down. It's like, okay, well, those people have to find stuff. But then another thought was, who cares? It's not something I have to.
I mean, I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, it's not something I have to worry about because.
No sin, man.
Yeah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
I wonder how many dudes were like, "No,
Her.
man, no, my blah blah blah, she's going away, man."
I got no clue what the majority of the backlash came from? Creators or the fans?
Probably both. Probably both. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe it was intentional little tactic that was thrown out there. Like, well, we're going to take it away just to see what happened. I don't know.
Shit.
I feel like I was listening to maybe it was Fresh Affair, maybe it was John talking about it. And they mentioned how it could be like just some kind of a implant, like a test.
A tester. Oh.
To see what kind of response it gets, right? And I'm going to guess it got the response that they wanted.
Damn.
You know?
Dude, they've been doing this over and over again.
What, like trying to...
These little shit tests.
Our lives are shit tests, man.
And anything. Just like, let's see what happens.
Revan dropped some knowledge on me yesterday. Most people live their lives... now I'm blanking on the wording, right? Alright, you just take The Wall by Pink Floyd, right? We'll just use this example, right? You can only build walls around yourself if you allow it to. Once you free your mind, then there's nothing, right? And then you get to put up the walls. But most people don't understand that, which is interesting. And kind of where I'm going with that is it's like our whole lives are shit tests. It's all just every day, whatever you're looking at is meant to get you to take it in to a certain level
to react
and to manipulate your mind in some sort of way. But you have to remember that you are the only person that can take things to heart, right? You're the only person who has that ability. Sure, they can throw as much shit at you as they want, but if you just deflect it all, then it doesn't matter. And that's like that sort of thing, man. Man, it's working to a charm. They're getting reactions out of everyone. Like it's nothing. And it's like slowly but surely we're going towards just people are going to just be programmed fucking robots.
Yeah.
Unknowingly.
It's like, we did this, we got a reaction, so now we take that feedback, work at it, do something else, and see if we can get the same or the different type of reaction. And it's scary.
It is.
It's scary. I'm just thinking of like a bunch of scenarios.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fuck, this might get shadow banned anyway. Something I remember dabbling into or coming across was like faked emergency situations put in place by the powers that rule, just to see the type of reaction that the population would give off. Like, say if there's like a fake EMP or even stuff they put in place. They did.
Aliens. That's one.
Yeah.
Just slowly feeding you little bits. I mean, we haven't heard anything from it in a while, right? Why is that? It was just the biggest topic in the world. Now it's just kind of going away. It's just a test. They're just trying to get a reaction, see what the general consensus is about that. Right? I mean, think about it. Just comes and goes. That's how things are.
Man. Yeah, they leaked. They were leaking that shit. They were like, "Oh, we were lying. We actually do have information about UFOs and such." I'm like, what?
I mean, I could assume that. In like, who knows how old that stuff is too? If I were to guess, man, the stuff that they were talking about, old as shit.
Old.
That was some old ass shit. Who knows what's really going on right now? I'll link in the description. But everyone should go check out this video by George Gammon. And it ties into what we were just talking about. It's about 40 minutes. And it makes you understand what is really happening. And like all these little shit tests. All these little things that they're just trying to get reactions out of. But it's for a bigger scheme. So I'll make sure I'll throw that in the description. Won't talk about too much. You just have to see it for yourself.
Yeah, I would. For that video, like at least from in my perspective, I could see the actions they were taking, but I didn't understand the end goal.
Nope.
But watching this video, the end goal, or at least a end goal, became very apparent now. It's like, oh, okay, well, it all makes sense.
Yep.
To a certain extent.
Yep.
But we'll just switch topics here. So I think it was about 2 weeks ago. We had President Joe Biden's administration stating they do not seek to reinstate the enhanced weekly $300 unemployment benefits set to expire in just a couple of days here, the 6th of September. And they're stating that if states want to continue said unemployment payments, that they would have to use their own share of the COVID-19 rescue funds.
I remember you mentioning this to me.
So I'm looking here at USA Today is where I have this information from. We'll link it in the description for you guys. But unemployment in the U.S. has dropped to 5.4%. As assumed, we have a lot of Republican governors have already opted out of said benefits. Slamming the extra money as a financial disincentive for the unemployed to get back to work, which would make sense. Like this, we've seen this in 2020. If you're paying people more money to not go to work,
they're going to take it.
Why would they go back to work?
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
Why would they go back to work? And, with presidential administration not reinstating the benefits, it's just going to further push, go back to work. Well, I think there's psychologically, the American people have been manipulated to think why would I have to go back to work if they can pay me to not go to work.
That ties into the George Gammon video too.
Yeah. It's like they can take care of me in a way better than I can take care of myself in a way.
Mm-hmm. See, it's just little shit tests, man. Little things that they manipulate the people with by saying, ooh, we can just do this for you. And it's going to make your life so much easier. Pretty soon, you'll be living in cities. You won't even own your own home. You won't have to drive your own car. Everything will do it for you. And it's going to seem like a nice, prosperous way to live. But you're in for a rude awakening, my friend. It's called the Soviet Union. There you go. Anyway, I'm sorry to mean to interrupt your thunder, but...
No. That's a good thing. You added there. But with the so-called Delta Airlines thing coming on...
I haven't heard about that in a while.
Yeah. Haven't heard that in a while.
I wonder why.
After, what's happening in Middle East, you know.
I feel like we can say it, but we'll just if everyone knows what we're talking about. That was happening in Afghan, the Modern Warfare 2 map.
Yes. So what happened over there? It seems to be more clickbaity than some of the other stuff that used to be front page news. Because like we said, we haven't heard a lot from Delta Airlines variant.
It's all good. Shadow bans. I wish you would.
And that was another thing that they were saying here in the USA Today article, that those who want to access their rescue funds may have to, and due to the airlines variant.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. Okay, we'll just go back to the main topic. They're cutting the additional benefits for unemployment, which is something they should have done a long time ago.
Most red states already have back in June and such.
Yeah, something they should have done a long time ago, because everyone's talking about reopening, going back to work, yada yada yada. Get this shot, go back to work, yada yada yada. We've already done that. People are not going back to work. It's kind of stagflation.
What we're in right now?
Yeah, it's just
stagflation.
Not growing.
Not growing.
Decelerating.
It's just like a waiting room, right? And I mean, it all depends on what. I mean, I can assume what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. And you know what it is? It's just we're going to go back to just more inflation. Because we can't deflate right now. We can't. Because everything's going to collapse.
Yeah, it's like, when everything crashed, 2020 March, main reason was that reason, 19. And then this year, they're rolling out, said, quote-unquote, Kears, get it, we to reopen, recover from that. And, it's been rolling out. On paper, we've recovered due to, the manipulation that is there at the Treasury. But...
yeah, we've recovered. Yeah.
It's like, we really haven't recovered. I mean...
no. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. People are too stupid to grasp the fact that they're like, oh, the economy's booming. The economy hasn't done shit. It's just called inflation. When you print, I don't even know how much they printed, trillions of dollars, we'll just say, right, into the system. It has to go somewhere. It's not just going to sit there. So where's it go? The only place that's going to give people return, assets. So all these asset prices are just inflated. But the thing is, you can't just pull that out because since there's nothing that actually really brought it up, if you take it all out, it's just going to crash harder. Right? Like, since they started the stimulus funding and whatnot, they can't stop. They have to keep doing it. They don't have a choice. Because if not, everything's going to collapse. Does that mean more stimulus checks? I don't know. Maybe not. But as far as direct injection into direct liquidity into the markets and the fiscal system, absolutely. It's not going to stop. It has to keep going. The Fed actually admitted that the other day. It's called a QE, or quantitative easing. Basically, they just buy up, bonds and shit like that. They have to do it even harder now. They don't have a choice. That's what happens with fiat currency. It's just fake money. And like on paper, sure, it's great. Like in the event of a crisis, you have the ability to print whatever you need to get through it. But you can only do that for so long before you can't. So that's why so many people were fond of gold back in the day. It's a real thing. It's real value, and that's why Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, mainly Bitcoin, are such a high commodity to go after because it's literally digital gold. That's what it is. It's interwebbed into the internet. So it's just the digital gold. That's why it's called that. So, but long story short, yeah, the economy is not doing shit. It's just inflation.
Yeah. Way to wrap it up was at least for this topic would be on the outside, the economy looks fucking great.
If you're
But when you really look at it, it is so shit. It is so shit. A couple days ago when you, Eric, brought up the S&P, and you were like, it should never goes down. Like when you zoomed out, I'm like, holy fuck, it really never goes down.
No, I mean it doesn't.
Because I was looking at like more zoomed in, and then you're just like, all right, well you see like small divots and such and so forth, but then you really zoom out, you see the big picture. The shit does not fucking go down, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Something's wrong.
It's one of those instances where like the past doesn't always tell the future. That one it does. It's been like that since its incarnation. If you need something, if you have a bunch of money and you know what to do with it, as maybe dumb it sounds, buy the fucking S&P. Just buy the SPOOs, man. Just go on E-Trade or whatever trading system you use and just look up SPY, SPY, and buy that. If you don't know what else to buy. Because that thing doesn't go down. Like I told you the other day. Last time I heard, it had hit 47 all-time highs in the summer. 47. For no reason other than inflation. That's it. That's the only reason. It's ridiculous. But once again, that's what happens when you have to consistently stimulate the economy. Because there's nothing. Yeah.
So there was that one, that topic. Next one we're going to go into is educational department will cancel student debt for more than 320,000 borrowers.
Shit, for real?
Yep. So this was a couple weeks ago, but it was U.S. Department of Education announced that it will cancel $5.8 billion in student debt for more than 320,000 borrowers. The debt forgiveness, which will go to borrowers with a total and permanent disability, will be automatically granted using data already available to the Social Security Administration, and borrowers will begin to see the relief in September. So, it's like you said, just some small little shit tests, throwing stuff out there.
Just them taking care of you. Slowly.
See the reaction, because, like it says here, the debt forgiveness will go to borrowers with a total and permanent disability. It's a very, I think a small pool, or like, it's a pool of people that doesn't include everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you would think, oh.
And they just came with a new one today.
Nice. Yeah, interesting. What Eric showed me was just
Harvard Medical School talking about variations.
Yeah, we'll say viruses mutating.
Yeah.
Mutating.
Some new car variants. Yeah. It says 4 and tracking 13 other new cars, which is pretty cool. I don't mean literally cars, just remember that. And I guess the WHO over there, WHO, just announced a new one today.
Yeah.
So get them while they're hot.
Say new version. Yeah, new version's coming right out.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was like, dude, this is the stupidest shit ever, man. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. How can you fall for this, man? Like, every other day there's something new. What? It makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's
like how can this make sense?
Well, it's like a Hydra.
Yeah, exactly.
Cut one head, two more appear.
It's unkillable. quote unquote, it's unkillable. That's what they're going to deem it as eventually. And it's going to be a part of everyone's lives. You're going to see new cars every other fucking day. But, sorry, get back to that.
Debt forgiveness, student debt forgiveness. Like I said, it's only for total and permanent disability people, which is, a large group, but not a super large group. And, I can see people, it's like, well, they got it, now it's time for us. They're going to see how people react to, to this, and more likely than not, it's going to be positive. And where the fuck is that money coming from to pay that off?
Nowhere. People will be like, oh, well, if they could do that, then why don't they just do it for everyone? You don't understand. I mean, sure, they can do that, right? But there's serious... With every positive, there's a negative. When you go printing, as much money is going to be printed in the next few years, there are serious repercussions for that. And your average person doesn't fucking understand that whatsoever. Look at gas, man. Like, as far as where we live, inflated so bad. Go look at the chart of U.S. oil. Like I said, go look at the S&P. That's nothing other than inflation, right? And then they talk about this new Green Deal and stuff like that. And it's physically, it's monetarily impossible to do that without blowing up the entire monetary system. The entire financial system would implode if you printed that much fucking money. But you know what? These people, either they're too stupid to see otherwise, as far as people who run, like the Fed and whatnot, either they're too stupid to fucking get that, or they understand exactly what they're doing. I honestly don't know. I have no idea. I mean, I know the people who run, not like as in physically know, but I understand that the people who run things, they're obviously very smart, right? So you'd think it'd be out of wisdom that they make the decisions that they do. But at the same time, I think they're also just fucking retarded.
Yeah, incompetent.
Yeah, like, sure, go ahead and just keep paying off student loans. But there could be some serious backlash as far as to your purchasing power as a American citizen, that you're going to regret that you were for that. And once again, this is all going in the path of treading towards that central bank digital currency, to the point where they'll be able to control everything.
Yeah.
Everything that you do in your life will be controlled.
Yeah, and it says here, we already have Department of Education, clearing that debt. And it says, President Biden still remains under pressure from Democrats, advocates, and borrowers to go further and cancel $50,000 per borrower in student debt for all. Me, I paid my shit off.
Which you should do.
With money I earned.
If you take out a loan, it's your job to pay it back.
Yeah, like, I took it out. Even though I was a young kid, didn't know what I was doing, I did it. I got the bill. With my hard-earned money, pay that off. Now I gotta worry about it. If they're talking about canceling it, I'm gonna pay it off. So maybe they should just give me the money. I got no debt, no student debt to pay off, so I can give me that money. I'll use it somewhere else.
Right.
But at least we'll say the conclusion for this one is they're already starting to pay off student debt, something big that they were talking about during elections. But sure, you can do that. Where's that money going to come from?
Yeah, where's it come from?
And if they're basically eliminating student debt, then education would be free. Like there's a bunch of inner working stuff that's more than just, I'm taking this loan out to go to school. Oh, that's getting paid off by the government.
Yep.
But then, are they just forgiving the debt, or are they paying it back to where it's supposed to go? If it's not going to where they're supposed to go, then how are those schools supposed to make money? And does it just go back to the people providing the money? Don't know. Guess we'll just have to see.
Can you
more that comes? Oh shit. I have what's it called?
Yeah, just
I have an email.
link me both
that hopefully all those links.
Yeah, just USA one and then that one.
Man, this was a good while ago. Well,
We can find it later if we need to.
yeah.
But it's when you start to free your mind and see between the lines of like what's really going on. It's very obvious, maybe easier for you and I to comprehend than other people, but it's incredibly easy to see the vision that the elites have for the world. Like I said, the more and more that the government starts to take care of its people, I say that with air quotes, they're not really taking care of you for shit. It's really just having power over you. And the more you start to accept the idea of living in a quote-unquote free world where everything is free for you, it's actually the polar opposite. You suffer. It's a very bad trajectory that we're going on. And if you aren't financially stable and don't have your head on straight, you're fucked. I have to say it sternly like that. If you don't know what's happening in the world and you're living under a rock, and or you're too busy spending all your money on OF and needless shit, sorry man, you're fucked. And you deserve to be fucked. The time to act now for yourself, or the time to act for yourself is now. It's as simple as just researching and learning about things 30 minutes to an hour a day. Spend a little bit of time. Even if it's just listening to us. Because I know we get our information and we've learned our experiences from reputable sources. So shit, even just watching our podcast or listening to it every week is going to help you so much. And listening to people that we reference in our videos, like the George Gammon video that I've mentioned a few times. It's going to change your life as long as you are open to it. Like I just said earlier, realistically, you can't let anything get to you unless you allow it to. In my opinion, these are things that you have to allow to get through. You got to think about yourself. Like we said, live in the present, but plan for the future. And right now, the future is very dark. Right now, the world's very dark.
It's dark.
But the future is very, very dark. But it can be prevented. For all of humanity, I don't know. But for yourself, I think most certainly. It's time. You got to decide for yourself. What do you want? Ask yourself, what do you want? But don't think about what your head's telling you. Find it within your heart. But be careful for what you wish for. Because you'll probably get it.
Damn, that's real shit.
That is real shit.
That's real shit.
Not that I claim to be some dude with a bunch of haters, but if you want to hate on me, man, go ahead. I don't care. I'm just trying to help people, right? I'm just trying to free people like I've been freed. You can call me whatever you want. I don't give a shit. I'm right here. Right here. I just want to help people. That's it.
Yeah.
Just like I've helped you, just like you've helped me, just like Revan's helped me and I've helped him, and vice versa with you. If you want to be helped, it's right here. We can help you.
Ask
And
for
if you don't, then get the fuck out of here. I don't care.
Reach out for it. But
it's there. But sorry.
New topic. Low transition here. Cool. Happened last week, I think 2 weeks ago. We had SpaceX shipping 100,000 Starlink terminals to customers. So Starlink is that satellite internet connection. Mm-hmm. Elon Musk revealed that Starlink is currently serving 14 different regions, including the U.S., Canada, UK, Germany, France, Austria, Netherlands, Ireland, Belgium, Switzerland, Denmark, Portugal, New Zealand, and Australia. And Elon emphasized that he hopes for Starlink to serve the entire globe soon, as its license applications are pending in many more countries. It kind of reminds me of I think Facebook was trying to do this. I know there was that one episode where they were launching some drone into the air and talking about providing internet connection in places that wouldn't be able to really receive it. Thus, trying to really connect everyone through technology and such. They're trying to just connect everybody. So, let me see. Originally launching its beta service back in November last year, Starlink was designed to cater to those living in more remote locations where wired internet connections might be lacking due to problems of infrastructure. The entire system currently has roughly 1,800 satellites in orbit, but Starlink aims to put another 42,000 up in space in the near future. That's kind of it. So what I was saying was... Damn, why do I keep deleting? I'll get them back. Alright. Same with what Facebook was trying to do, unless they've already done that, about bringing internet access to places where you usually can't bring internet access. It's they're trying to connect us all together. Whether or not we like it.
Yeah, for good or bad.
And that's like you said for this what is it? CBDC?
Yep, central bank
digital currency. And all the other stuff we were talking about. You can see it. They're not stating it, but it is getting implied. It's like, oh well, why would I need to be?
They're putting it there for interpretation.
Yeah, like why would I need to be connected? It's like, sure, those remote places, they can't receive it. Why would they want to receive it? In a way, if that makes sense. Like, what was like a very indigenous groups of people that are like, quote unquote, uncivilized.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing fine. They're surviving. Why bring something new in?
I don't know a ton about Elon Musk, right? But what I do get is that to be in a position that he has found himself, you don't just get to be there and not have to abide by things, right? So you look at Starlink, you look at Tesla, you look at what he stated himself, the AI chip, the neural implant, this new Tesla bot. And what I see from all of that is, once again, is an interconnected network. And I think he is one of the people that is pioneering that for the elites, right? Tesla. They're eventually just going to be autonomous cars, right? You don't have to drive anymore. A Tesla car, for example, will do it for you. You don't even have to consider ordering anything because we have a neural chip, and that neural chip is going to send a connection to wherever you want it from, right? It'll get it for you via drone, like what Amazon does with their deliveries. You have Starlink. Everyone's going to be interconnected and be able to use the internet and whatever. No problem, right? That's all there. That's available for you. And the Tesla bot is just another form of servantry, some sort of autonomous robot that's going to do all the nitty-gritty work so you don't have to. So you can live this quote-unquote very comfortable life where you don't really have to do anything. Everything is done for you in this free world. And once again, that's not the case. That's pretty much it, right? I mean, I think what I just said there makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, Tesla's huge. Elon Musk is huge. He's a smart guy, don't get me wrong. But all of those things, once again, just point towards a society where you don't have to worry about anything. It's all taken care of for you. Right.
Yeah, that Wally.
And he said himself too, Elon did, that pretty soon you driving a manual won't be a thing that you'll see on the road anymore. You'll go to a track for that. Because on the road, it's just going to be autonomous vehicles. In these eventual, like, smart cities and stuff like that. Yeah, everything will drive for you.
Like, yeah. It solved a lot of issues. Create a lot of issues.
Well, I think it's going to be for the worse.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, WALL-E is such a good movie because, one, it wasn't... that wasn't under the Disney banner at the time. That was just DreamWorks before DreamWorks... or Pixar, whatever.
I think it was Pixar, yeah.
Pixar eventually got purchased by Disney. And that's what makes WALL-E so good, is because I don't think there's any agenda behind it. I think that's just a vision into the future of what it could look like. I think that's just true. Now I see it like the Disney movie. I'm like, all right, this is just some bullshit that they're pushing. But I think WALL-E is a standout because it's true. You look how good they were living on that ship, right? Everything was done for them. They didn't have to do anything. They're all fat, lazy, dependent on machines, kind of like the Matrix. You slowly see how all these things are interconnected. All these movies and TV shows and things you read, they all go together because they're all part of the same plan. It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, it is really crazy. Oh, it's like sci-fi, boy. It ain't no fucking sci-fi no more.
It's real life. It's crazy we're living in it, dude. It's crazy.
Switch the topic again. So you were talking about Matrix, and something that happened a couple weeks ago is the reveal for Matrix 4's title. So we had Warner Bros. And the Village Roadshow officially unveiled its full title of the highly anticipated Matrix 4 at CinemaCon, confirming that the upcoming film is titled The Matrix Resurrection. So, those present at CinemaCon were very lucky to watch the trailer of the new movie. So people have stated that, the beginning of that trailer begins with a conversation between Neo, portrayed by Keanu Reeves, and his therapist, which they say is Neil Patrick Harris, in a futuristic San Francisco, to where they're basically Neo is trapped in a pre-RP world. To where he bumps into Trinity, the love interest in the movie, and she has no memory of it. And then apparently at one point he runs into a younger Morpheus, and he's handing an older Neo the RP. There's the two pills he takes.
Oh, the red pill. Got you. Sorry, I was just confused. I don't know. That's what I thought you meant by it. Didn't continue.
I don't know if that's a trigger word or anything.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But that's kind of it. We have another Matrix movie coming on the way.
Is it by the same two people?
Yes. And I mean, first three were great, but they came out at a different time.
When the directors were actually dudes as well.
Yeah.
I saw something, man, on HBO Max. It was like celebrating women behind the camera, and they had the Matrix trilogy there. I was like, when those movies were made, they were men. That doesn't count. Maybe it's another shadow band thing. I don't care. They're fucking dudes. They're not chicks. Like, how can you say celebrating women behind the camera when they made that movie? They were men.
Yeah, it'd be like celebrating, female Olympians and then having Caitlyn
Jenner, yeah.
Caitlyn, they're like, Caitlyn ain't no Olympian, Bruce was an Olympian.
As a man.
Yes.
Exactly. Like,
Bruce was an Olympian. Caitlyn
sense.
is not an Olympian.
Doesn't make any sense, bro.
So, with it being a different time, Matrix, yeah. Hopefully it's good, but it's a different time since those original trilogy came out.
Mm-hmm.
Could be different. Who knows?
I don't know.
But, that's what we got there. Well, I guess we're talking about movies. I guess there was a new Spider-Man.
Yeah, I didn't watch
Spider-Man No Way Home trailer.
Yeah.
I guess we have Spider-Man coming out Christmas. We have Matrix coming around somewhere same time as well. I don't know. I haven't seen actually the first
New Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Homecoming?
With Tom Holland. Homecoming. I've seen Far From Home.
I haven't seen that one.
And there's New Way Home or No Way Home. A bunch of Easter eggs, trailer breakdowns people have been putting out. I haven't watched any of it, but just from the first time I watched it, I'm like, okay, looks like we got some old characters coming back.
Yeah.
So it kind of ties in with the whole different dimension timeline
stuff.
Like
the Spider-Verse as well.
Yeah, that Endgame was dabbling into.
Mm-hmm.
There was a trailer, or there was a movie poster I saw that must have been fake, had to be custom made, but because we saw those other villains from different Spider-Verses, basically, that movie poster had the original Tobey Maguire, and then had the middle guy,
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield, and then it had Tom Holland. I was like, that'd be pretty cool if they bring them all. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, it could be another Spider-Verse type thing, but should be interesting.
Yeah,
Should be interesting.
I liked Homecoming. I haven't seen Far From Home because I didn't really care. But, I mean, if it's presented to me, I might watch it. And that one, I haven't watched the trailer because, I don't care too much. But, I don't know. Like I've said time and time again, the only movie I give a shit about that's coming out is Dune. October 22nd or something like that. Best book of all time. Don't at me.
We're at about an hour.
Yeah.
About an hour.
I was going to say, we can probably wrap this up. Unless you got anything else you want to add.
So
go ahead.
We can just go some quick stuff. We'll go with boxing. We had this Saturday. We had Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. We had Jake Paul winning by split decision. And I remember Revin was saying, boxing should be thanking the Paul brothers, and he's not wrong, man.
No, I agree. It brings excitement to it, right? Like, usually the main events are shit, but the fights before that are actually not that bad. Like, I know we weren't together when we were watching it, but dude, there were some good fights on there, right?
Yeah,
and
it still had me intrigued.
Because regular boxing fucking sucks. The best fighters just duck each other all the time. Like, we were looking at, right? When you look at, like, the lightweight division of boxing, it's stacked. There's so many good fighters in there. Devin Haney, Gervonta, Ryan Garcia, Lomachenko, and Teofimo. Exactly. But they don't fight each other. I was like, dude, they should do some Grand Prix thing, right?
And like those are money fights.
And it's the same thing with the heavyweights. Like Tyson and Joshua. That's a huge fucking fight. Make the goddamn fight. Like, come on, man. That'd be one of the biggest fights in history of sports. And you do it at like Wembley Stadium or something like that. Oh my god, that thing would sell out.
Yeah,
It's like
with all these different. No, they're not weight classes. Like, what is there's different belts, like WBC, WBO. Organizations.
Yeah, different organizations.
Like different organizations. Like, we're trying to see who's the baddest man on the planet.
Yeah.
You don't make these fights. So we trying to see who is the best.
It's because no one wants to give up their shit. Everyone's greedy. And there's no way you can make them either. Right? Like with the UFC, for example, There's only one belt per thing, and it's the fighters are technically employees of the UFC, right? With boxing, everyone's their own independent contractor, basically. So with the UFC, it's like, if you're the champ and you don't want to fight nobody, well, they'll just strip you. All right, you don't want to fight? That's fine. We'll give it to people who actually do want to fight. Boxing, you can't do anything. They can't do anything. It's like, thank God, they at least made Pacquiao Mayweather. Maybe it's a little late in their careers, but that's the biggest fight in history to this day. Just in front of Mayweather and McGregor.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with boxing. No one fights each other. Like I said, imagine having like some sort of tournament with those 5 fighters of the lightweight division. Maybe you probably do like Teofimo is like a bye week or something. You do it like that because he's the champ, undisputed champ. But just imagine some of those matchups.
That'd be great.
Exactly.
That'd be great.
But it won't ever happen. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think the only fight I know that we might get is Teofimo and Loma one more time. I think we'll get that.
So I would say like Loma wants that fight. We don't know if Teofimo wants that fight.
I don't think he wins it. That's probably why he doesn't fight. He doesn't want it. I don't think he wins it. I don't.
Yeah, the thing we were saying was, boxing, pretty much saved by the Paul brothers, and it just brings people back to the sport because, at least like from what I heard, when it was like Mike Tyson era, people getting together to watch this less than 30-second fight.
Yeah, no one watches boxing.
But then, with Jake Paul, it's the same thing. Now people are interested. They getting people together to want to go watch this fight. And it's just like, boxing should be thanking the Paul brothers.
Yeah, like I don't know Jake Paul behind the cameras and in front of the cameras. I don't necessarily love his personality. I got respect for the dude, as well as his brother Logan. Like, I got respect. Look at what they're putting on. That's crazy. So they're literally they're trying to revive boxing. Because what? Does Showtime puts on what? One good fight a year? One? They don't do shit. I think the only good one they've done so far was probably Gervonta and Mario Barrios. That's it. It's probably the only good fight they'll put on this year. Right? I think the Tyson and Wilder, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, I think that's like an ESPN thing. Because that's Top Rank, I'm pretty sure. That's ESPN. So there's one Showtime won't get. And then there is Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk. I think that's how you say it. I don't know if that's Showtime or not. But long story short, they don't put on shit for fights.
It ain't Showtime.
And Jake Paul and Logan Paul, they give them that. And they give them a lot of money. Right? I don't know how many people actually buy the pay-per-views, right? But they get a lot in sponsors for sure. People want to sponsor that.
Yeah, like Floyd got paid, Logan got paid, Jake got paid, Tyron got paid.
As well as, Jake Paul takes pay cuts so the people on the undercard can get their biggest paydays of their careers. You got respect for that. He's trying with the UFC fighter pay, but at the end of it, it won't change unless you get every fighter to band together. Because how the hell can you pay some dude that just walked on a lot of money? It's hard.
Yeah.
How can you pay someone a lot of money if they're not even that good? That's what's tough about fighting. And I'll say it again. I think he said too. Conor McGregor is the most underpaid fighter in history. In reality, he is. That dude should be making hundreds of millions of dollars every time he fights, like Floyd was. But he only gets paid $30 million per UFC fight usually, which I know sounds like a lot, but in reality, to his influence, ain't shit.
Yeah,
it's sad. I agree that fighters should get paid more. You see some of these people who make a career out of it and they just don't get paid shit.
Yeesh, man.
But they're not going to pay you a lot if, one, you don't bring in money, and two, you don't win. If you win, then you get double your show bonus, or your show money. If your show money's $20,000 and you win, then you get $40,000. In fairness, a lot of that gets taken out of taxes, which is bullshit. Fuck you, government. But yeah, got respect for the Paul brothers.
Yep, and that's end of my notes.
Cool.
End of what I got.
Yeah, well, let's wrap this up and then move on to what else we got to do behind the scenes. All right, y'all. Just hit you with a quick recap. We talked about OF. Not going to say the full name. Talking about The Wall. Not like the entirety of the album, but the concept of it. Briefly mentioned some UFOs. Good stuff as always. Unemployment benefits. A couple things that Michael brought, which was great. Unemployment benefits, Department of Education, Starlink, New Matrix, and finish off with Jake Paul and Logan Paul and Tyron Woodley and such. Got a few links that will be thrown in the description. Make sure to check them all out. Particularly the George Gammon video. That is kind of the main thesis of today's conversation, is what he talks about there and what we're talking about here. So check that out. It's for your own benefit, right? We're just trying to help you out. But anyhow, here's with that outro.
Yeah, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also ring the bell so whenever we upload a new episode, you'll get a notification to stay up to date with the info we put out. Follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Unlocking Success. Follow me everywhere at RichHomieVane. Follow Eric on Instagram at Eric_Eclipse and on Twitter at I am the Eclipse. And that's Unlocking Success. Hopefully you enjoyed and are one step closer to unlocking your definition. We love you and appreciate all the support, good or bad. Take care and keep striving. We'll see you Saturday.
Yeah.
For UFC Fight Picks 11, UFC Vegas
36, I think.
36, Brunson
Versus the Gorilla.
Till.
Let's fucking go, man. You already know who I'm picking. Darren Till. Let's go. We'll see you then. Peace out. Bye.